Welcome to lecture number 1 for ECE 401 Senior Design. I'm Jake Lauer, and this lecture is a kind of an overview and a syllabus for the course, kind of what to expect. The instructors for the course, there's two of us, Jeff Erickson and myself. Class is at Wednesday, 3 p.m. in Upper Del North 101. All classes are also live streamed on Zoom. In terms of office hours, pretty much whenever we're in our office, we're fair game. You can contact us in person or on Zoom. Just hop on Zoom and we'll get a message that somebody's waiting for us and we'll open up a Zoom link. In terms of bulletin description, it's a capstone experience in the formulation and design of a system or device, prereq is Circuits 1. Now, one thing to note about the prereq. In senior design, the point is to demonstrate that you can apply knowledge of electrical computer engineering. In theory, you could take Circuits 1 and then senior design before you take any other courses in ECE. Please don't do that. The whole point of senior design 2 and 3 is to show that you can apply knowledge that you've learned. That kind of assumes that you have knowledge to apply. So if you try to get around the system and take senior design before you take electronics, embedded systems, stuff like that, you're not going to do very well. So wait to take senior design 2 until after you've taken the courses like electronics, embedded systems, things like that, until after you've got something to apply. You're going to need that material. We just do this because well, if we have too many prereqs, it makes it too hard to graduate. So as soon as you take Circuits 1, you can take senior design, but typically wait until you're senior to do that. In terms of what senior design does, this is a 3-semester sequence. In them, we go through the entire design process. What a design process typically does is you start out, we'll talk about project management, give it a project, organize it in a way that improves the odds of success. That's the whole point of project management. How do you take the project, split it up into smaller parts, identify the tasks you need to complete, the order you're going to do the tasks, when they got to get done. That's project management. We'll then look at the tools that you need to test your design. Oscilloscopes, multimeters, things like that. Look at requirements capture. Now, in your design, the requirements are all important. The requirements drive the design. The requirements specify the inputs, the outputs, and how they relate. The requirements will drive how you design, what you design, how you test it. Requirements are all important. The Gantt chart is part of project management. Once you come up with a list of tasks that need to get done, what the requirements are, you need to start organizing it when you're going to do the different tasks. Which ones have to happen first, in what order, when do they have to get done by to finish on time. You'll then look at the paper design on paper, something that meets the requirements. Once you have the paper design done, check your design. Build it in breadboard to make sure your design is correct. Once it works on a breadboard, lay out a PCB, order the PCB, build it, test it, and validate your design. That's the entire design sequence. You're going to do that twice. In Senior Design 1, this class, go through the entire design sequence on kind of a small device, maybe like build a stoplight. Go green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. Once you've gone through that entire sequence, you'll then go through the entire sequence again in Senior Design 2 and 3, but now for a much larger, more complex project with more students on it. So that's kind of how the Senior Design sequence is organized. Design 1 is kind of a dry run where you go through the entire design sequence. You'll also learn the tools, such as Autodesk Fusion, how to lay out a PCB, stuff like that. The expectations for students in Senior Design 1 is you should be able to use a schematic capture and printed circuit board design software. In this case, we're going to actually be using Autodesk Fusion. You should understand the process for selecting components, meaning understand data sheets, understand PCB material considerations, the basics of soldering and rework techniques, understand the basics of project planning and management, safety engineering, and the use of lab notebooks for documentation. The textbook for this course, everything in this class is on Bison Academy. So go to Bison Academy, click on 401, That'll take you to this class. Under the website, it's got the course laid out on a weekly basis, as well as the lectures in PDF format and recorded lectures uploaded to YouTube. This class is offered in the full HyFlex mode, meaning you can take the class in person. We meet Wednesday at 3 p.m. The class is live streamed on Zoom, also Wednesday at 3 p.m. Or you can just watch the YouTube videos whenever it fits your schedule. How you attend class is totally up to you. There is a lab kit for this class. The lab kit has pretty much everything you're going to need to build your circuit that you're going to build in this semester, kind of like a stoplight or various things like that. These are available the first week of class. You can pick up in person. If you can't meet in person, just send us your mailing address and we're glad to mail them to you. There's no charge for the lab kits. There's about $20 in parts. Please don't lose them, because we have a limited number of them. But it should be everything you need to get through this class. As a note on the lab kits, there is a rechargeable battery in the lab kit. Last couple semesters, people have been throwing out the batteries, buying new ones. You don't need to do that. If your battery dies, just plug it into a USB cord and recharge it. It's good for 1,500 recharge cycles, which is more than enough to get you through this semester. It should get you through a couple years, actually. The battery is a little bit pricey. They're $4 each, but avoid putting things in the trash. This one battery should replace a couple hundred 9-volt batteries over the years. And again, just recharge it through the USB cord. There's a USB cord in your lab kit. Don't throw them out. In terms of grading this class, grading is 100% based on your homework scores. So do the homework. You need to do the homework to get it to pass the class. And grades are round to the nearest 1%. If you got 90%, you got an A. 80%, you got a B. 70%, you got a C, and so on. The objective of the course is to have experience using the tools you're going to be using over the next in Design 2 and Design 3, specifically using Circuit Lab, Autodesk Fusion, soldering, using oscilloscopes and multimeters. And the objective at the end of the semester is to have a little 2-inch by 2-inch board that you designed yourself. It's going to be a custom PCB that you designed for a specific purpose like stoplight, so we'll talk about a little bit later. And there'll be one PCB per student. Each student should have your own working PCB. It's kind of keepsake you can use. Also make sure that everybody is going through these steps. Nobody's just letting the lab partner carry them. In terms of the syllabus, we're going to meet for the first 10 weeks. The first week is the syllabus and project selection, this lecture. Week 2, we'll go over project management and OneNote. Third week, breadboards, PyPico, Python. Fourth week, kind of review of circuits, electronics, embedded systems. Again, for this course, we don't know which courses you have had, which ones you haven't had. So we have kind of a quick summary. We'll then go over Fusion. That's for the PCB layout, PCB schematic capture. And then test equipment. Make sure everybody knows how to use an oscilloscope and multimeter. After week 10, we kind of quit meeting in person. That's time for you to work on your project. Have it done by week 16. So that's kind of the layout. The first week is the project selection. You can choose any one of these 12 projects. Week 2 is work breakdown structure. This is organize your project to increase the odds of your project being successful. The work breakdown structure typically has 4 levels. That's the project requirements, how you're going to split it up into smaller parts, the major activities, and tasks. The tasks are your homework sets. You'll also set up a thing called OneNote. OneNote document is going to be your diary. It's what you use to document your work throughout the entire semester. Homework number 3 is a paper design. Once you've picked which project you want to work on, is design something that should work on paper. Calculate the values of the resistors, capacitors for some requirements. For example, the diodes need to have 20 milliamps flowing through them, plus or minus 5. Your calculation should go into your OneNote document. Everything goes in your OneNote document. Homework set number 4 is then check your calculations. Throw them in Circuit Lab and verify. Are the voltages correct? The current's correct? Is the current through the LEDs 20 milliamps? Make adjustments as needed. Update your OneNote document. Week number 5 then is, okay, once you've got your schematics and it works in Circuit Lab, build it. See if it really works in hardware. And then also take data, collect voltage measurements, current measurements, and check the logic levels to make sure that you do meet your overall requirements. Update your OneNote document. Homework 6 to 8 is then use Autodesk Fusion. Autodesk Fusion is what we use for PCB layout. So homework 6 and 7 is practice using Autodesk on a little 555 timer circuit. Once you get the hang of it, then take your schematics on a more complicated circuit, lay it out in Autodesk Fusion, and what you want to come up with are Gerber files. The Gerber files are what we use to order your PCB. We'll then order a PCB. 10 days later, we get the PCB back. Once you get it back, you can then transfer your design to a PCB and solder it. While you're waiting for your board to come back, there's a practice PCB. You can practice your soldering. Again, soldering is something you learn by doing. You'll get better at it. We'll have a little quiz while waiting for your boards to come back on using test equipment. Make sure everybody that graduates from NDSU knows how to use a multimeter. Everyone that graduates knows how to use an oscilloscope. Finally, when you get your PCBs back, solder them up, test them, and demonstrate them. During the demonstration, that'll be a half-hour demonstration during dead week, where you demonstrate that your board works. The currents are 20 milliamps through the diode, measure the total current, and verify that it meets your overall requirements. So that's the course in a nutshell. Do want to make a comment on using AI and ChatGPT. Those are tools that do exist, and they can be useful. If you ever want to learn about new op-amp circuits, learn new commands for MATLAB or other programs, learn some programming tricks, ChatGPT and AI can be useful. However, do not depend upon them. ChatGPT and AI don't think, they just copy from the web. They'll typically take various designs, mash them together, and wind up with a design that's 90% correct, 10% pure nonsense. If you turn in a design that's pure nonsense, we'll grade accordingly. If you turn in a design that's 10% pure nonsense, it ain't going to work. So the final presentation, when you're demonstrating your design, it isn't going to work if you just rely on ChatGPT. That's part of the reason we have final demonstrations. During dead week, and at the end of the semester, you'll come in for a half-hour presentation and present your design. To get an A, every student has to have a board that works. Partly, this is our anti-AI technique. If you're relying on AI, you won't have a working circuit board, almost guaranteed. To get a board to work, you kind of have to understand what you're doing. Second reason for having a working demonstration at the end is it makes the course a whole lot more fun. The whole reason you go into engineering is you want to build stuff. This is a course where you get to do that. By the end of the semester, you should have a little 2-inch by 2-inch board like this that'll do something. This, for example, is a night light. Turn the lights out, the green light comes on. The bottom circuit is a stoplight. It'll go green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red. Kind of demonstrating I get something to work on a fairly small, simple design in 401. That gets you ready for taking 403, 405 next semester, when you'll have a much more complicated design. Finally, legal stuff. Attendance is required. How you attend is up to you. You can attend in person, live stream over Zoom, or watch the YouTube videos. If you have special needs, we will accommodate you. For academic honesty, do your own work. If you can figure out how to get through the course getting an A without learning anything, please don't. The stuff you learn in this course, you're going to need. You'll need it in Design 2, you'll need it in Design 3, you'll need it when you graduate. Whole lot better to learn it here at NDSU than when you graduate and your boss finds out you don't know anything. And finally, if you're a veteran and something comes up, we will accommodate you. So that is the course in a nutshell. It's a fun course. Of course, we actually get to build things. By the end of the semester, you're going to have your own PCB that you designed, you built, you soldered, you demonstrated. Something you can show off to your folks. So that is Senior Design 1. A course I hope you'll enjoy. And with that, should be ready to get started on the course. Again, there's a lab kit. Swing by my office or shoot me an email with your return address or mailing address, and we'll get you a lab kit to get started in the course. So welcome to Senior Design 1.